Welcome to the Sports Hour Show. I'm your host Karthik, giving you the latest sporting nuggets from the month that's passed by. Now with the basketball news. The Milwaukee Bucks have gained a lot of form with multiple wins over the month of November. The Greek freak Giannis Antetokounmpo, along with his new teammate Eric Bledsoe, have taken leaps and bounds in bringing the Bucks to stardom. These two, Giannis and Eric Bledsoe, have been stellar. With the Greek Freaks MVP runs, they're wreaking havoc on teams. Eric Bledsoe has been instrumental, as he's averaging over 20 points, which he did at Phoenix, just minus about 5.3 points. But then he is assisting, which takes out the burden of Giannis' assisting rates. So that's how Milwaukee has enjoyed success over the month of November. Remember the Cavs' losing streak of 4 in 6 games? And we were like, oh, the Cavs are done. They're not reaching the playoffs. That was extreme. But then they came into a 13-game winning streak, which included this win over the Bulls. This ended yesterday over the Indiana Pacers with rising star Victor Oladipo having 33 points. But then today they have won against the Philadelphia 76ers, one of their playoff opponents likely, with Joel Embiid out. LeBron James got his 58th career triple-double and also got 30 points. James Harden has averaged 31.9 points per game and is leading the league in points and assists. He has got 4 triple-doubles and is making a major push for MVP. But then earlier, before the season started, when Chris Paul was traded to the Rockets, we all thought that the assist rates might be going down. Turns out both of them are averaging 10 assists per game, which is insane and is also helping the portfolio of James Harden for making MVP. But it's not alone. It's not a loner's game. We had Blake Griffin before he was injured. We have the Greek Freak, LeBron, the dark horse for MVP, and many other people. Kyrie for the Boston Celtics. It's just that James Harden is leading it and he has to continue his form if he ever wants to win MVP this season. That's all for the basketball news. Now with the soccer news. Chelsea have been hammered on the road with a 1-0 loss against West Ham United. This happened in the 6th minute of the game with striker Marko Arnautovic striking his left foot across Gary Cahill, the captain of Chelsea, and through the goal post, crossing Thibaut Courtois. Cristiano Ronaldo recently won his 5th Ballon d'Or for his stellar 2016-17 season, which included leading the Liga in scores, the goals scored, Real Madrid winning the Champions League, and Real Madrid winning the La Liga and FIFA Club World Cup. And then this season it started the fact that he was losing form until yesterday, when this guy Cristiano Ronaldo scored a brace, 2 goals in a 5-0 thrashing of Sevilla at the Santiago Bernabeu Stadium. In the Serie A, Juventus and Inter Milan played a 0-0 draw at Juventus. Gonzalo Higuain was on fire but was out of luck, as the leaders Inter Milan had taken a single point, had shared points to have a significant 2-point lead in the Serie A, behind with Napoli at 2nd place and Juventus, who are the champions, defending champions, in 3rd place. Now let's analyze the points table for the current Premier League season. So at the top we have the Manchester clubs, Manchester City and Manchester United, who are going to play each other tonight in the Manchester Derby at the Old Trafford Stadium. 3rd place we have Chelsea, who are most likely not going to win according to their head coach Antonio Conte. Liverpool has jumped to 4th place with a draw in their last 6 games. Tottenham has fell from 3rd place to 5th place due to 2 losses in recent weeks. Arsenal is still in the mix with 6th place. Burnley is at 7th place. Leicester have overcome some heaps from reaching from 14th place to 8th place. Watford, a surprise this season, have reached 9th place. Everton, which was 2 weeks ago in the relegation zone, is now 10th place. Stoke City, which has been trashed by Tottenham recently, is at 15th place. The last three. The Hammers just bet Chelsea, but they're still in the relegation zone. Swansea, which was supposed to be known as the perennial Premier League Cubs, are in the relegation zone. And Crystal Palace, they are most likely going to be relegated this season. I mean, they just scored one goal after like 15 matches. That's all for the soccer news. Now with the cricket news. India recently won their 9th straight Test series win with a 1-0 series win over Sri Lanka. The third Test was a draw in which Dhananjaya Silva and Roshan Silva saved Sri Lanka from humiliation. The first Test was edge of the seat thriller in which Sri Lanka was poised to win the match, but India salvaged a draw thanks to Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli scored 2 double centuries and was also accompanied in the centuries list by Murli Vijay, who also scored 2 centuries in his return after a shoulder injury. After the Delhi Test, in which 2 players vomited, namely Suranga Lakmal and Mohammad Shami, due to pollution levels, and the Sri Lankan players wearing masks to protect themselves from the pollution, the ICC is planning to include pollution or air quality index in playing conditions index for making the stadium valid for playing. Joe Root's valiant surge of 64 was ended on this very next day he came in for batting, as he didn't add a single run to his overnight score of 64, as Australia went on to beat England and take a 2-0 lead in the Ashes, in which Mitchell Starc took 5 for 88 and Josh Hazlewood sizzled with 3 wickets in the first 16 deliveries. That's all for the cricket news. Now with the tennis news. The Spanish doubles duo of Rafael Nadal and Garbiñe Muguruza have been named as the ITF Tennis World Champions due to the recent surge in form during the 2017 season. Rafael Nadal finished as the world number 1 for the first time in 4 years, whereas Muguruza came into the limelight last year with the French Open win. This year she won the Wimbledon. That's all for the tennis news. Now with the American football news. The LA Chargers have reached into the playoff mix due to the recent wins during the month of November, including this win over the Cleveland Browns at the LA Quadient Stadium. Phillip Rivers is poised to reach the playoffs for the first time since 2007, but it's tough as they have teams like Jacksonville and Tennessee to overcome to reach the playoffs. The NFC conference is turning out to be a dominant conference here. The Minnesota Vikings and the Philadelphia Eagles both have an equal record of 10 games to 10 wins to 2 losses, in which they've been shocked either by the Seahawks or by the Panthers. Both are equally strong and they're looking to make sure that they reach the Super Bowl. But it's tough as the NFC consists of many tough teams such as the Dallas Cowboys, the Carolina Panthers with Cam Newton, and the Seattle Seahawks. That's all for the American football news. Now with the sneaker news. Adidas is planning to release a new collaboration with Parley for their new Ultra Boost Mid shoes, which are set to release in Feb 2018. The Parley includes the mainly of the upper and the lower midsole, which is jagged. You can relate to Under Armour with innovation. That's how this Under Armour shoe is. The sole of this Under Armour shoe is 3D printed, and now Under Armour wants to show that 3D printing of shoes is the future. One of the first 3D printed Under Armour shoes was the UA Artitech, in which the sole was actually 3D printed using 3D printers. But now, using laser sintering tech, Under Armour wants to increase the production of these 3D printing shoes. That's all for the sneaker news. That's all for this month's edition of the Sports Hour Show. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to like and subscribe and follow me on Instagram. Thank you. I'll see you next week.